Guys, this is Stacy Rossetti, and I'm back with another totally amazing woman real estate investor. And I want her to introduce herself to you, and then we will get into how awesome she is and all the different things that she's doing. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Alice.
Hi guys, my name is Alice Zen, and I am out here in Phoenix, Arizona. I've been in real estate since 2005. The market was kind of like it is today, and I got in real estate because I went all the way through college and still didn't know what I wanted to be. And so when I graduated, I thought, I still don't want to sit in an office. Let's try real estate. And it went from being a hobby to really fulfilling my life dream of having the freedom to, work hard and get paid for the work and the solutions we provide.
So you were a realtor for a while, and then you became an investor. Can you tell me what made you decide to change from a realtor to an investor?
Well, when I was 25 in 2005, so when I got in real estate, my friends weren't really buying houses yet, and I honestly had no clue. And so as in life, you typically go to somebody else that knows more and ask them, hey, can you help me? Can I work your leads? And the agents in the office all gave me their leads. Well, they were all $40,000, $50,000 buyers, but they didn't want to work in that price range. And I realized very quickly that these were investors. And if I could get good at finding the deals, calculating the repairs, packaging it up and making it easy for them to say yes or no, that I could sell them a lot of houses. So while the other agents were wanting the high dollar, buyers and sellers, I thought I can double dip. They're going to buy, they're going to rehab, they're going to sell with me. And I worked really hard one-on-one with those investors, going to the sites and calculating repairs and where are we different, and learned all of that and loved it because I didn't have to take time away in the evening. I had a 1 or 2 year old baby at the time. I didn't have to leave at night. I could go on my schedule, look at their houses, package it up, send it to them. And it wasn't like, hey, come show me houses, drive me to look at these 10 houses. I knew very quickly what they were looking for, how to make the numbers work. And so I did that for probably 3 years until 2008. And in 2008, I ended up with a short sale listing, and the bank was trying to take the property from them the week before Christmas. And my investors didn't want the house. It was kind of in a rougher area. And she came to me crying and she said, the bank said, all we need is an offer. Just any offer on the table will delay the foreclosure. You don't have any buyer. And I said, I don't. I've given it to everybody I know. And she said, how come you can't write the offer? And so I was like, okay. And so I wrote the offer. The bank took it and gave her another month so they weren't kicked out the week before Christmas. And I was able to double close on that and make about $7,500, which for me at the time was a lot. So that was really kind of the kick in the booty that I needed to get that first deal done as an investor. And from there, it just went on more and more deals.
And that was back in the time too, when there were a lot of short sales, right? That was 2008. That's when all the short sales started happening. Yeah.
It was a mess. They couldn't get the paperwork right. Yes.
Yes, I remember that. So, okay. So tell me, a lot of people ask me, should I become a realtor if I want to be an investor? What do you think about that?
I like the idea of your partner being the realtor, honestly, or somebody that's close knit that you can work with. You can be an agent. It's extra disclosures, extra paperwork. I still do all the realtor forms when I lead-based paint, property disclosures, because I want to protect my real estate license. I think ideally that it works best if it's your partner or your spouse that has their license, and then you can work the lead as the wholesale deal or fix and flip. And if the numbers don't quite work, you refer them to your partner or spouse and catch a little of that marketing money back, from that referral to that person.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Yeah. Do you what kind of projects are you working on now? What kind of deals do you work on now?
Right now, the one thing that I probably say I would regret the most from my career in real estate is that I never picked up any rental property. I heard what I was being taught by my mentors and coaches, but I couldn't see $300 a month cash flow versus let's flip it real quick and get 30 grand. I just was like, I want the 30 grand. I want the 30 grand. And here I am 15 years later, exactly, looking back and saying, why did you buy a house or two a year? Because they'd be paid off even if it had taken the whole 15 years. So right now I am focused on picking up rental properties. They are outside of the state of Arizona. We do our wholesaling and fix and flips here with a partner, but in terms of rental properties, the cash flow is a little better for us in Ohio and Alabama.
Oh, so you're doing rental properties outside of Arizona right now. How do you work that? How do you do that?
We just get into the Facebook groups and network with the other investors and ask them to send us their wholesale deals or the deals that they couldn't figure out. We like to do creative deals, look at the photos. We do get formal inspections since it's something we're planning on holding. And I'm actually going to head out to Alabama the first week of January and just try to get feet on the ground and make some new contacts. We need a couple contractors, things like that. So for the most part, I think it can be done remote, but I think it's also good to go and shake hands and look at people eye to eye and make connections.
Why don't you just go like right next door to New Mexico? I feel like there should probably be some good deals there, right? Because I was driving this summer through there, and I was like, man, it's really beautiful actually there.
Yeah, I like New Mexico. What we did because I'm familiar with a lot of markets, that's one thing I've done is help a lot of people count properties all across the country in all 50 states, really. When I was looking for landlord-friendly states. And so, and then states that had policies that would help us. And Alabama was really top on our list. There was about 5 states. New Mexico didn't make it, and I don't remember why.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you without going back to that research. It was probably a 2 days worth of these markets are definite no's. These ones we're definitely interested in. These are the maybes. We got it to the top 10. I think I feel comfortable in Birmingham. It's a lot like Knoxville. It's close to Knoxville, Tennessee, where I started, except for in Knoxville, you can no longer buy rental property at $60,000, $70,000. They're typically up over $100,000. So I see that there's more inventory, more opportunity in Birmingham, and it's a larger city.
Yeah. No, so yeah, I'm in Georgia, and so a lot of people are interested in Alabama, and I look in Alabama as well too. It's so cheap there, but Georgia's getting a little more expensive, but Georgia's also kind of outside of the Atlanta area. It's kind of the same thing, but yeah, I like Alabama. It's good.
Very good.
So tell me about like from 2000 and I guess 2000, is it 10 to 2000 to now? Like what were you working on? What kind of deals were you working on?
Of course, I would recommend always starting out wholesaling, and that's what I did in 2008. That's how you figure out your numbers. And if it's not a good enough deal that another investor wants to take that assignment from you, then it's more than likely not a good enough deal that you should take it. So I did those couple years of working with investors as an agent, which of course is no risk, and then some wholesaling, which is very little risk. When the market crashed in 2008, I opened up a short sale negotiation company, and I was running short sales for all of the agents in town because I had those connections. They needed the help. And did that for a couple years, but it was very time consuming running those short sales. So closer to 2011, I ended up getting some formal coaching and went more into the fix and flips myself. I realized, hey, I'm selling these $60,000 houses and getting $1,500, $1,800 checks, and they're flipping them, and I'm seeing the 30 and 40. I knew because I was the agent on the back end, and I was like, you can do this. You're putting it all together. You're just being a wimp. Get yourself together. And so we flipped our first property, I believe, in 2011 or early 2012. And had a cash offer within a week, was able to repay most of that investment with the education company, and went on to flipping houses. We got up to about 2 or 3 at a time. It was a big learning curve for me to manage contractors. It's not something I had experience with. And so we swapped the partner roles. What we thought it was going to be often, switches. And she ended up managing contractors while I managed the marketing, finding the deal, raising the capital to do the deals. type thing, and did that for a handful of years, up until about 2016 when I started working on the education side, helping other new investors learn from my mistakes and helping them move forward in their journey.
So what is what's the market in Arizona like right now?
Oh my gosh, it's mind blowing right now. The inventory, we have a month and a half worth of inventory on the market. And as you know, a 12-month inventory is considered a neutral market. A month and a half is ridiculous. I have a real estate license here. If you're trying to buy a house, there's going to be 10 to 20 offers on it. They're going to be over full price. You're going to be waiving appraisal and this, that, and the other. So it's very, very tight inventory. I can't say I've ever seen anything like it. And part of me is like, yeah, but the other part is super frustrating if you're trying to buy a house or you sold your house and you're getting ready to be homeless. So
yeah, I can't imagine. That's how it is in Georgia as well too. I mean, and it's like in Georgia we have like these pockets. Like the really hot areas are like super hot, and then the not areas are like not hot. I don't know if it's like that over there with y'all, but I see pockets as well.
Yeah. There's definitely some zip codes that are hotter. We have a few zip codes that the dollar per square foot is high enough that they are building additions to houses, because it makes sense dollar wise to build the addition, make a bigger house, and make the money from it. So there's definitely the hot zip codes too, but really everything in this county, until you get pretty far out, it's pretty hot.
What do you think is going to happen over the next year? Because I know in Georgia, I mean, I just read an article that we only had 10,000 houses for sale. 10,000. Can you imagine? And it's just, so they're basically saying that, it's still going to be a seller's market for next year. But I wonder like what's going to happen. It's a seller's market. There's not enough housing. Right. And of course, there's not enough affordable housing. And then on top of that, you have like all the forbearances and evictions and stuff. So what do you think is going to happen? What do you see?
That's what I've been talking about that a lot. And I read an article yesterday, and it was showing that the percentage of forbearance and eviction properties, which those are supposed to, loosen up after the end of the year. So first quarter, I'm sure they're going to have to do something. They can't collapse the economy by putting all of those houses out at one time. So I'm sure that they're going to work through some plan and modify or whatever needs to happen, but I think it will loosen up the market. I think that I feel like interest rates are going to stay low, which means you can buy a lot of house right now for a low payment. It blows my mind how much house you can buy, and compared to, you can rent a 3-bedroom house here. I'm sorry, a 3-bedroom apartment that's fairly nice, but you could buy a $500,000 house for the same price in this market. And to me, I'm like, what? How did rent get this high and house payments are so low? Because the interest rates are low right now. So.
Well, don't go out. Everybody that's listening, don't go out and buy a $500,000 house if you can't afford it. Just so y'all know, because that is what's going to create even something worse.
Yes.
So you've coached obviously a lot of students over the past years. Can you tell me kind of like, do you ever see a theme with like students, newbies? Like, what are the things that they always need help with? What are the things that you focus on? Kind of give us some inspiration especially to the new investors listening.
Sure. My first advice out of the gate, because I know what it feels like to be brand new and have no clue about the market or what's going on. My first advice is to learn your market really well. What's going on in your city? Where are the investors buying? Are there new interstates, new schools? What kind of transition? Transition is good for us as investors. It creates opportunity. Are there new historic overlays being put in? Like, what is going on in your city in terms of everything? I
love it.
Get them to get in, dig in, learn their city. You can go on Zillow and look at recently sold and put in keywords like renovated or remodeled, and you'll see the side of town that people are rehabbing. You can look at the rental properties on Zillow and see, okay, the rentals are here. Typically, I find opportunity in cities in the in-between areas. It's not the place you probably would want to live yourself, and it's not this is so cheap that it's hard to want to find anyone to buy these properties. It's the in-between areas where you can create some value, and some of the houses are worn down and some have been fixed up. So I think it's about learning your city first of all, and then just jumping in. I was at a seminar last weekend and he said, jump off the cliff and build the airplane on the way down. And I like that.
I love that.
Because otherwise real estate makes you very analytical. You want to think, oh, what if this happens? What if that? And I can tell you, even after 15 years, I wouldn't be able to what if every situation if I wanted to. That's why we get paid to provide solutions, is because we're able to figure it out. But you cannot analyze and think your way through every situation that's going to happen. I would say jump and have somebody that you can, a partner or accountability or the Facebook group that you have, and ask the questions and figure it out as you go.
Coach.
Yep.
Yeah. Or like, or some sort of coaching program or a mastermind or something like this. I think. Yeah, I think surrounding yourself with people that kind of think like you and are doing deals like you, that's really also really, really important, so you can bounce ideas and then hear what everybody else is doing. Because the truth of the matter is, especially in the real estate investing world, you can easily become an island, right? You can easily just do your own thing. And then, but then you just what happens is you don't get the, the experience that everybody else does. And every single deal that you ever do in real estate investing, my personal opinion, is completely different. There's never one deal that is exactly the same ever, Yep. Yeah. Yeah, so you get that. See, I was actually thinking about starting another podcast maybe later. It's going to be called Every House is a Lesson Learned.
Yeah.
Right? It's so true, right? I mean, every single house is every property that you buy is a lesson learned, and you're never going to be perfect on any property. So you, just like you said, you got to jump in and just do it. Yeah. And then, and everything in the end always works out.
It does.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, so good to talk to you and meet you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And are you going to speak at the summit for me?
I would love to.
Okay, good. All right. You guys will be hearing all about that. I promise later.
Yay.
Okay, good. Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time. And if anybody wants to find you, they can just search you on Facebook, or how?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. It's under Alice Zen, Zen Adams.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Take care, everybody. And I will see you guys at the next video.